Hello, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking, talking about trucking topics today. Thanks for joining. Salam, brate. Hello, Ennis. Hello, Ulrich. Hello, everyone. I've been using these headphones. I'm gonna try it again just to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. Last time I haven't used them, so I'll try again. I think this is good. Today is Wednesday, April 30th. It's the end of the 4th month of this year already, and everyone is hoping for the trucking rates to go up. We'll see about that, how that's gonna work out. But the thing is, we are still waiting. That's the main thing. We are still waiting for that. I do have some topics here. Hello, Michael. Thanks for coming in on time. Every time I set up my schedule to start at 11 a.m. and every time something comes up like 2 minutes before that. Like right now, I'm trying to start the stream, and I have a driver call me, and I just have to answer, to see if it's something urgent. And if it's not, I just tell them, hey, I'll call you back after the stream. So something comes up every time. Sutra lagano makar pile okriri. So B21A. I wonder what that means. What does your name mean? Your username. But tomorrow is the 1st of May, and I was looking at my calendar yesterday, and it says on my calendar that tomorrow is Labor Day, and I'm thinking, man, another holiday already. We just, like after the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we get a break with holidays, and then we have Easter. Easter is usually not a non-working day, like a Friday before Easter. But I'm looking at my calendar, it says Labor Day. I'm thinking, what do you mean Labor Day? There's no. And I remember, it's May 1st. It's Labor Day in Europe, and maybe some other countries that I don't know of. If they celebrate. Yeah, good job, Michael, setting your alarm. So I remember that May 1st is International Labor Day, but only in Europe. Maybe some other countries that I don't know. But in where we are from, in all those countries in Balkans, it's called Dan Rada. Dan Rada. So actually, it says it means a day of working. To me, it's a day of non-working, because how it started is that people wanted to fight for their rights and bring their rights to their employers' attention, and then maybe even some of them would go out with banners and ask for better working conditions, better pay, and stuff like that. But in Balkans area, they took it to the next level. Since this was their a day off, they would just go out and celebrate. And traditionally, you get a whole lamb or a sheep, and put it on a pit and roast it like that on fire, on coals and wood, and then people will go out in a park or by a river or by a lake or something like that, and they would just gather, and that's like that whole lamb represents the 1st of May, but it's supposed to be a Labor Day. So yeah, that's what's tomorrow. And traditionally people would congratulate that to each other, like happy 1st of May. It's interesting, but not here, not in United States. No one cares about that here. And then even people from Europe, it's just a regular day. Had it not been for our friends and relatives in Balkans, in Bosnia, where I'm from, we would totally forget about this holiday. And to me, like when I'm far away, it just doesn't represent anything anymore. Like it's like, so what? B21A, my first and last name, first letters, and 21 was the age I made this account, so it would be 25. Now you have to change it every year, like now it has to be B25A. Name Anidia code. There is nothing like. So I'm assuming you're over there in Bosnia, or in Balkan somewhere. There is no place like over there. That's what he's saying. Well, yeah, that is true. You place where you're born, where you grow up. I didn't spend that much. I spent more time here, way more time here in the United States than in Bosnia. I spent there, what was it, like 21, maybe 18 years I spent in Bosnia. And I've been much, much longer than that outside of Bosnia. But still, it's your roots, it's where you're from, it's your culture, and you cannot, and it's normal that it's that culture, is the one, that you have, great memories of. So, but anyway. Okay. Now, if you have any questions about trucking and dispatching, you can always ask here. And I prepared some topics for today's stream. And then Awaizal Khan is already asking, I missed the last stream. I was meaning to ask you, how will this tariff situation going to affect the trucking? And then there was something about $3 per mile. And he's promised the rates will be $3 by tomorrow. Yes, $3 by tomorrow. If you do a 100-mile load run, if you book a load that's 100 miles, then yeah, I think you can get it for $3 per mile. Bro, I'm about to buy a new truck for 3 cars hauling a Dodge Ram. I want to start. Is it a good idea now? So I'll go back to the tariffs question in a second. Thinking about switching. Okay. 3 cars hauling a Dodge Ram. I'm assuming it's they call it also hot shot. This kind of setup, a pickup and a trailer, a flatbed trailer for a pickup. I don't know if it's a good idea. I really don't think so. I don't really think that it's a good idea to get into anything right now except for semi trucks, right? If you are thinking of driving and you're trying to get into the trucking industry and you're thinking about the equipment that you're gonna have, if you're going to go into trucking right now, semi truck would be the best option. I'm not going to say it's going to be a great option. I'm not going to say you're going to make a lot of money and become rich. But if you're looking to go into trucking, semi-truck is the best one. Box trucks and Sprinter vans are doing bad, and same thing with hot shots. And then with hot shots, you don't have to just do cars. You can do other stuff, like partial flatbed loads. But still, in my opinion, it's not worth it, right? You're going to invest a lot of money in that. There's so much competition in hotshot. mainly because, of the driver's license requirements, things like ELD, drug testing, all of that. It's different if you're in a semi-truck, right? It's different if you go over the state borders. Everything is different. So the rules are more relaxed for these smaller trucks, and that's why most people will go into that. And because the investment is smaller, right? I'm gonna have to message back. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do any hot shots right now. You're just gonna be disappointed. They're not gonna be any loads. You're not even the loads that you get. You're not gonna make any money. Okay, sorry, just trying to keep up with the messages. Okay, let's go back. Tariffs. How will these tariffs affect the trucking? I spoke about that a few times. I even had a guest, a broker here that spoke about that, and everyone, everyone was kind of cautious with predicting anything about the tariffs because no one knew what they're gonna do. But I think most people would agree that in the short term, it would affect the trucking industry negatively, right? In short term. In long term, we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen. I am hoping that this will turn out to be something like what happened when we had COVID. Everything got shut down for a few months, and all the warehouses got empty, and the production stopped. Everyone was missing parts, and all of a sudden, the industry started recovering, and people started going out. And then we did have those SBA loans and PPP loans and handouts from the government, to all families. So people started buying like crazy. So that's the only difference that we had back then, because people got a lot of money. People got a lot of money, and they started spending it. And then all of a sudden, the products were in high demand. Whatever you needed, it was like just people didn't ask for the price. We just had to have it. And the trucking industry boomed, right? So I'm hoping that we might have a similar scenario. Yeah. Again, we're not going to get any handouts this time, any money injection. But if everything stops moving right now because of the tariffs, hopefully they're going to reach a deal in few months. And then once the investors become more optimistic and people start buying more stuff, then hopefully in the long term, this might affect the trucking industry for the better. By that time, a lot of trucking companies that were financially weak or that they didn't know what they were doing will probably go out of business. So at that time, we will probably have less trucks and less trucking companies on the road, and therefore maybe we could start demanding higher prices for the freight, right? So in the short term, I think it's going to be bad. In the long term, I hope it's going to be good. We'll see. Kev's Trucking. Hey, Kev. Or I know, I mean, I've seen you around. We spoke. I think I answered some of your questions. Thinking about switching from drive-in to flatbed. Seems like more loads in the south. Do you think that would be a good idea? Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. flatbeds are doing better and better by the day. It's nothing crazy. It hasn't improved that much, but it's getting better because of the construction season and everything that comes with summer. More demand for flatbed loads, and it's not just construction. It's other things like seasonal things that are happening around the country will demand flatbed trailers, and there are a lot of things that flatbed trailers can deliver. But either way, South is doing really good and South and Southeast as far as flatbed trucks go. Now, we do have one owner-operator that lives in Texas, and he has a flatbed, but he used to do a lot of short freight, and then we started getting some really good rates going out to west. Not far west like California, Washington, but maybe like Arizona, Utah, and Colorado, over there in the mountain region. And I keep telling people, owner-operators or drivers who want to go into those areas for good money, I keep telling them, okay, well, these areas pay good money for a reason, right? If you go there for good money, you're not gonna get out for good money or for even decent or okay money. You're gonna get out for bad money, even with a flatbed. It doesn't mean that it's gonna be better, like, because we know, like Colorado or Utah or Nevada, if you go with a dry van there, it's gonna be hard to find freight to come back to Midwest or to South, and same thing with a flatbed. But he wants to go there, and then it's really hard to find a decent paying load from there. But if you stay in the South or in the South/Southeast, then you can find decent paying freight no matter where you go, and all of your loads are going to be paying decent, right? So as opposed to doing a load for like $3-4 to go over to mountain region or west, and coming back for less than $2, why not just do every load for $3 to $4 a mile in the South and Southeast? So yeah, I think a flatbed, even here in Midwest, you will actually be doing better with a flatbed right now. Excuse me. The only thing that people with flatbed or people who want to switch to flatbed trailers don't realize is that first, it's very hard to get a flatbed right now. If you were to buy it, okay, that would be easier, but they are expensive, more expensive than I think that they should be, but they are. If you want to rent or lease a flatbed trailer, it's going to be harder to find them because they don't have them. And then even if you find them, it's going to be fine to get a hold of a 53-foot flatbed. So it's going to be most likely a 48 feet flatbed or a step deck. Okay, and then another thing that you have to realize is that, okay, once you get it, what then? Like, you get that flatbed, it's not like getting a dry van or a reefer. Because with a dry van, all you need is a couple of straps. That's it. Or load locks. And sometimes, like, if they ask for more, you can just buy them. You can buy them used, right? But with a flatbed, you need a lot of equipment, right? You gotta be prepared to, no matter if you rent the trailer or buy the trailer, you're gonna have to invest $2,000 to $5,000 in the equipment. Let's say $3,000. You're gonna have to have tarps, of course, straps, chains, stakes, dunnage, bungees, all of those little things that like to corners, edge protectors, tensioners, a lot of things. And you're gonna have to buy that. You're gonna have to have a place to store that, and you're gonna have to keep maintaining because tarps are gonna tear, and things are gonna break. So there's a lot of investment and a lot of work, of course, and you know that. A lot of work, during normal weather, it's fine, but what if you have a storm, a snowstorm in winter, but like a regular storm, rain, wind, cold, it's night out, you don't see anything, you injure yourself. Like we had a guy last year, he just started with a flatbed and he was doing great, but then he went home, he played soccer with his kids, he injured his legs, and then he went back to work. He was driving for like 2-3 weeks. He just couldn't handle it, because of his leg, and I think he still has problems with that leg, right? So it's not easy. I heard only bad feedbacks from people I know. Oh, you mean semi-truck guild Milanese, a new truck. Oh, so you're getting a new truck, not a pickup truck. A Dodge Ram? Well, a Dodge Ram is not a semi-truck. UPS letting a lot of people. Yeah, I've seen that all over news. I wanted to actually talk about that today, about UPS. I have the article actually right here. UPS plans 20,000 job cuts this year in pullback from Amazon. The company is to shutter 73 leased and owned buildings by end of June. What? 73 buildings. So Amazon, as we all know, Amazon started using UPS in the beginning, and now Amazon, they have their own delivery trucks. They have the ones that they own, and they have contractors. Like, you can be a contractor and buy like 20 of those vans, Sprinter vans, and have your own employees deliver them. But, that's not easy to get into. But anyway, they have their own trucks, their own vans, so they don't need UPS anymore. The reduction in its operational workforce, a group that includes delivery drivers and package handlers, is part of network overhaul in response to expected lower volumes from our largest customer, meaning Amazon, I think. Okay. The network reconfiguration is expected to generate $3.5 billion in total cost savings this year. Yeah, well, oh well. What's your name, my friend? I don't know what to do. I lost my 5 to 9 job. I'm 42, no debts on my house, and I have 200,000 saving and excellent credit. I don't have business experience. Okay. So my name is Anis. If you are asking me, you're 42, you have no debt, you own your house, and you have $200,000 in savings and excellent credit. Don't go into the trucking. Now, there's a reason why you turned on this live stream, because if you have $200 in saving, you can do so many things right now, and excellent credit. If you go into trucking right now with no experience, it's not going to be good for you, my friend. It's different if you have experience, if you know what you're doing, if you have realistic expectations, and if you're planning to invest in this long term, right? Like right now, the truck prices are good, and trailer, prices are also good. So if you know what you're doing, you're already in trucking, then this might be a good time for that someone to buy new equipment and expand and wait for the markets to improve. But if you have no idea, if you don't know anything about trucking, yeah, please don't lose that money, man. That's a lot of money. Okay, find something else. If you have more to add, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Guido Milones. If you have more to add to that, please do, because this is interesting, and I don't want to sound like I'm negative or trying to push you away from something that I do, but I'm just being honest with you. Okay. Have you heard about Trump executive order that requires the truck drivers speak English? Yes, and that was on my topic for today as well. Might as well talk about it right now. Trump signs order providing relief from auto tariffs. No, sorry, that's not the one. Where is it? Okay, no, now this is from White House. Because if you read these articles from different media outlets, everyone has their own way of interpreting the current president's executive orders and moves. You know, one side is painting, you know, a really great picture of him. The other one is just waiting for something, you know, that he does so they can attack him. So it's hard to find the middle ground. So you go to White House press release and read the press release directly from them, and then you get to decide like what your opinion would be and what your reaction is going to be. So we're going to read the White House paper here. It's called Enforcing Common Sense Rules of the Road for America's Truck Drivers. I love this word, common sense. Common sense rules. Okay, that's hard. That's hard to find. By the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. So section 1 says the purpose. America's truck drivers are essential to the strength of our economy, the security of our nation, and the livelihoods of the American people. Everyday truckers perform the demanding and dangerous work of transporting the nation's goods to businesses, customers, and communities safely, reliably, and efficiently. Word. Proficiency in English, which I designated as our official national language in executive order as of March 2025, should be a non-negotiable safety requirement for professional drivers. They should be able to read and understand traffic signs, communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, agricultural checkpoints, and cargo weight limit station officers. Drivers need to provide feedback to their employers and customers and receive related directions in English. This is common sense. Word. This is why federal law requires that to operate a commercial vehicle, a driver must read and speak the English language sufficiently to converse with the general public, to understand highway traffic signs and signals in the English language, to respond to official inquiries, and to make entries on reports and records. Yet this requirement has not been enforced in years, and America's roadways have become less safe. Word. My administration will enforce the law to protect the safety of American truckers, drivers, passengers, and others, including by upholding the safety enforcement regulations that ensure that anyone behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle is properly qualified and proficient in our national language, English. There you go. It is the policy of my administration to support America's truckers and safeguard our roadways by enforcing the common sense English language requirement for commercial motor vehicle drivers and removing needless regulatory burdens that undermine the working conditions of America's truck drivers. This order will help ensure a safe, secure, and efficient motor carrier industry. Now everything else here is legal language that tells us how and when this is going to be enforced. So basically they have 60 days to start enforcing this rule. Now, okay, if you go, like I said, to different media outlets, you will see different reactions. As far as I know, most drivers will support this rule, and most, if not all, trucking organizations will support this. And I spoke about this already, I think, in the last stream, where I argued that here in America, in the United States, a lot of traffic signs are in English, and they're written, right? They're words, as opposed in Europe, and I don't know about other continents, but in Europe, all traffic signs are signs, right? And due to the language barriers in so many countries and people traveling between those countries, they have universal traffic signs, and you don't actually have to speak. Like if you're from France, you go to Spain, or you go to Germany, you don't have to speak their languages in order to understand the signs, even as a truck driver. But here in the United States, a lot of traffic signs are written in words. You have to be able to speak English in order to understand it. So I agree on that. I also agree, and this is very important, what they say here. The drivers, should be able to read and understand traffic signs, communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, agricultural checkpoints, and cargo weight limit station officers. And it's not just that. It's the police, it's the DOT, it's your dispatcher, it's the broker, it's the shipper, the receiver, everyone, mechanic, insurance agents, truck stops, other drivers that you communicate with on the road, other people, not non-truck drivers, but other people around you, other car drivers. You need to be able to understand what they're telling you, and you need to be able to tell them what needs to be said, right? So that's very important. Now, to me, and I do support this. I support this. I'm not going to say 100%. Why not 100%? Because I feel like any new rule, any new law that comes out should start from that day on for the people that are getting into the trucking or into any kind of industry that has to do with an order like this. So maybe, like, if you have a truck driver that's been driving for like 20 years, and they have been for a long time, I understand that they should have been able to communicate. The CDL requirements, it already says that you have to know English, and I don't know how people that don't know English, I have no idea how they pass their CDL tests. I just don't know. I wonder how. But no one has enforced that rule, that much. But if you have someone that's been driving for 20 years safely, and now they get pulled over now in a weigh station, and they're under a load, and they have been safe and effective and efficient this whole time, and now someone places them out of service or revokes their CDL, and they have their truck on the weigh station and the load, that's a problem. I don't think that's a good way to do this. And also, why not start with a brand new people who are just coming into this? Like, okay, from now on, there has to be a test, an English test, that's going to check the knowledge of your English language. But to go retroactively pass a law and then punish people for something that they didn't do, like, I don't know how I feel about that, right? But yeah, 99% I do support this. Like, I do agree with this. So that's my thought on this. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. But yeah, I do understand for the safety of everyone that like you should have be able to speak English. And then like also there is a point that someone made, like what's good English to you? Okay, like with me, I have been here for 24 years. Actually, it's gonna be in a couple of days. It's gonna be 24 years that I've been here. I knew some English before I came here, and it's not that hard to learn English, at least not for me. I understand some people struggle with languages more than others, but it's not hard to learn the basics. My parents, we came here together, right? Right now, they are 73 years old. They can go by themselves, and they didn't know a word of English, like when they came here. They can go by themselves to visit a doctor. They can make a phone conversation, call someone. They can work. They can, they're over 70 years old, right? So it's not that hard to learn the basics of this language, okay? And but what are good like what is the requirement? Is it like 5th grade level, 8th grade level, college level? Like what is that requirement? Like how many words you need to know? What, like that's a very gray area, because sometimes my English is decent, but like if someone tells me a word that I've never heard, then I might not understand it. Like, so it's hard. Okay, what else? Man, I'm glad I'm researching because there are a lot of hazard around this business. So this was back to the question if you should buy a truck and get into trucking with your savings. This job sucks. Guido, there are a lot of regulations to follow in trucking industry for sure. Please, everybody, hit the like button. Thank you. Michael and I spoke, I think it was like a month or so ago, and he was also getting into trucking industry, and we spoke about the regulations, and he already did a lot of research. He already knew what he was doing. He had some background, and he's also getting into this. But Michael can tell you for sure that there are a lot of headaches, especially if you're trying to open up your own trucking company. It's different if you're trying to get a truck and maybe lease on to someone else. That's different. And there are still a lot of regulations and rules for that. But especially if you're trying to open up a trucking company, people don't know how much paperwork there is, how many rules, how many permits, insurances, safety regulations, all of that is involved when starting a trucking company and maintaining a trucking company, because you learn something new every day. Like you think, okay, I'm pretty good at this, and then you learn something you're like, I never knew that. Okay, so thank you guys for the advice. God bless. No problem. Why are prices low in Midwest? That's a good question. I'm reading Detroit Euro's question. Why are prices low in Midwest? Well, I spoke to Emro the other day about this, and what's fascinating to me is we do have a few drivers that have been strictly going to East Coast and coming back. And from my previous dispatching videos, you notice that we did a lot of freight for them. Right now, we're actually going all over. Right, we go all over. Any state, you name it. But these guys would go to East and go back, and maybe sometimes do a couple of loads here in the Midwest. And Midwest used to pay okay for these shorter loads, and it worked for them. Less fuel, less maintenance, less miles worked, but decent pay, right? But right now, if you're in Midwest and trying to do Midwest to Midwest or Midwest to East or back, it's going to be tough because those rates are not paying well. Now, when we spoke about South and Southeast with flatbeds, well, remember a few months ago, South was really bad for anything. Dry vans, flatbeds, reefers, everything was bad. And Midwest was okay, like Chicago area, Wisconsin, Iowa, parts of Indiana, Kentucky, Kansas, Missouri, Minnesota, not so much. But then people from South, the trucks that stayed South, and trucking companies, they realized that. And now they all came to Midwest. And if you go to truck stops, because I was talking to one of our owner-operators who lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, he said, I went to a truck stop, and they have, I think one small truck stop in Fort Wayne. And he says, I see a lot of trucks from the South, from the West. What are they doing? Because you never see them. Usually, right there in Indiana, because that's a transit point between, Chicago and Illinois and over there to go east or to Ohio. And usually you see those trucks from the Midwest or from East. But now he's saying, I see a lot of trucks from South and Southeast and West. What's going on? Well, they all came up here, for the better rates. But guess what? Now the Midwest rates suck because all these trucks are here now. Now we're seeing South and Southeast, especially flatbeds, improve. It's crazy. It's like migrating birds. We have this flock of birds, and they just go, wherever there is a good weather, meaning good markets. That's, they just fly to there. So I think that's what's going on. Detroit Euro is asking, good morning, and it's, should I go into the ice cream trucking business? Appreciate your advice on this. Well, since this is the start of the season for ice cream, my friend, you should definitely invest into that. Okay? Make sure that you go out, unshaved, right, in old clothes, ungroomed, and you try to sell that ice cream. I'm sure you're gonna be a magnet, for everyone to come to you and hey man, the ice cream truck is here. And then, make sure you have that, that loud music, with bad speakers. That's gonna attract, all the customers there. So yeah, you should definitely go into the ice cream trucking business. So what Trump signed, you can get a hefty fine if your worker does not know fluent English. So we don't know the specifics yet about the monetary fines, how much, the driver or the trucking company, if they're gonna get any fines. But if they really start enforcing this rule and put the truck and the driver out of service, and usually if someone puts your truck out of service, it's usually for 10 hours or 34 hours or until the truck gets fixed, so you can move. But this way, what are you going to do to the driver? Are you going to take away the CDL license, revoke it, invalidate it? What are you going to do with that? You just ruined this person's someone's calling me on. Let me see who this is. I should be quick. Hello? This is? Yes, he is. Okay, thanks. Okay. Okay. So you're gonna destroy the livelihood of this person and their family by doing that. It shouldn't be that extreme. I mean, the driver should be able to at least proceed to deliver the load, get home, and give him or her a decent amount of time to get to know common phrases that are not that you have to you have to be able to know in English language in order to continue operating the truck, right? You can't just make them jobless. You're gonna make them homeless if you do that, right? That's very extreme. I don't think that's right. Okay, if they actually do that. If you put the law here in Europe, truckers might speak more than 50 languages. In Europe, I have some family members that drive trucks in Europe, and they go all over, all over the Europe, and they get to learn some words from the country that they go to. In most countries, a lot of people will speak either German or English or French or one of the Slavic languages. So it's going to be easier to communicate, right? But it's like you said, it's hard to know all of those languages. Hello, Cyrilla. I don't like it, but I understand the point of enforcing English proficiency. What organization is going to police the English-speaking rule? Are they going to have to be enrolled in an English-speaking clearinghouse random sampling? Yeah, that's a good point, right? Who decides what the level of your English proficiency is, and how? Are these DOT officers all English teachers? I mean, I'm going too far. I know this is extreme because it's like Trump said, it's common sense, right? But how can you do that to someone? Mr. Ennis, Mr. Guido, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Guido or Guido. What do you believe is a good investment opportunity for me right now? Besides trucking, I really don't know. Trucking is what I do, right? Trucking is what I do, and I really wouldn't know what to tell you where to invest that money. Like you said, you lost your job. Maybe I would look for another job, and then in the meantime, try to decide, what to do if you're going to do something on your own, invest money and start your own company or your own gig. Usually it's a good idea to start something on the side while you're working and having that safety net, right? So if you work and you just don't spend that money and then do something on the side or on a weekend or after hours, try to do it. And then if it takes off after a while, then you can switch full time to that. But I guess you have to decide for yourself, like what are you good at? What are your strengths? What school did you go to? What did you study? What do you have experience with? What kind of trainings did you have? What are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? Like what's something that makes you happy? So then you decide what you want to do and where to invest that money and what kind of business to start. But as far as trucking goes, I really don't think you should invest right now in trucking. If you're in it like we are right now, then it's different. You have to survive. But just to go knowingly with a lot of money into the trucking without any experience, I'm gonna say it, and it's nothing personal, and I don't mean to offend you, but that would be really stupid. Okay, so don't do that. Frankly, I'm not sure how effective it is since I do not live in America. I would be very happy if you could review it for me and inform me of my shortcomings. Mustafa, I don't have any context, or I don't see any of your previous messages here. So if you want to tell me what you're referring to. I support the must speak and understand English law 100%. Being able to communicate is essential. Yeah, no, it is essential. You have to know how to like communicate. That's for sure. You know, no windows in your van. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's see what else do we have here to talk about. I'm working on a video with 12 points that will make tracking better. And I wanted to record it. Hopefully I can record it this week, but I have some decent points here. I think a lot of these things would make the tracking industry better. Chris is sending me a message here with our two trucks next to each other. I'm going to bring it here to the stream. They met, is this a truck stop? They met at the truck stop. I'm going to bring it here to the stream. Come on. Okay. There we go. We need one more. Cool. If you're an owner operator and you have a semi truck and you're looking to lease onto someone and work with someone, give me a call or check out our website at usoraexpress.com. The info is in description of all our videos. How you can contact me if you're an owner operator and if you want to work with us. We are transparent, and I myself have a truck driving experience, so you will be in great hands. You will be with someone that understands you and respects you and knows what you're going through, and we can also speak English. That's a good point to have, right? Like pretty soon the trucking companies are going to be advertising. This will be a part of advertising. We speak English. What about career business with a van? No, that's even worse. A van is even worse. Like I said in the beginning, if you're looking to go into trucking and you don't know where, to like what kind of equipment to buy, go with a semi truck. But anything else, no, it's just a bad idea. Okay, I want to speak about something that happened yesterday, and this is weird. So we have someone here that bought a truck, a semi truck, and he is looking to get a driver. Okay, and he found a driver in Texas, all the way down in Laredo, Texas, and this guy, we checked him out, insurance is fine, clearinghouse, he did the clearinghouse, he, accepted the query, communicating 100% for, I think, a week or so. And then finally, he's going to come here and pick up the truck because the truck is right here. And how is he going to come here? Well, the owner of the truck is going to pay for the flight ticket for him, for the driver, to get here. to Grand Rapids. And the owner asked me, hey, is there any way you can just, get this ticket, pay for this ticket, and then I'll reimburse you, right? And I know the owner of the truck, and I know he's going to reimburse me. We worked together before with other things, right? So, we trust each other fully. So I'm like, okay, no problem. And it took us like 2 days to book the ticket because, he actually was going to fly out on Monday morning, and we knew that on Thursday. So we said, okay, by Sunday, we're going to get the ticket, and he's going to come in here on Monday night. So I was looking for, we were looking for a flight ticket for a couple of days just to see what the options are. And they're all pretty much same, $470 from Laredo, Texas to Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I asked the owner of the truck, is it okay? $470. He said, yes, book it. I booked the ticket. I sent it to the driver, to his email and his phone number. It's, by the way, this is with American Airlines. And I sent it to the driver. And yeah, okay, so he's going to come in Monday morning, Monday around noon. That's where the flight leaves from Laredo, comes here at night. What about the hotel? Is he going to go to the hotel? And owner of the truck says, yeah, he's probably going to get it himself. Okay, cool. And I asked later, Monday afternoon, I'm busy with other things, has he boarded the plane? Oh, we don't know yet. He hasn't been responding. He's probably flying right now. And then we look up the ticket number. What's going on? The ticket has been canceled. The flight ticket has been canceled. What? So that means the driver is not coming. Okay, well, driver is not coming. This is not the first time or the last time. We get this a lot. We make appointments, we set up the time, a day, and driver never shows up, or they stop answering. And it's been like that, I've been in this for over 20 years. It's been always like that. But lately it's been getting bad. And the flight ticket has been canceled. Okay, well, I'm assuming they're gonna just refund me the money because I paid for it. I'm assuming they're gonna refund me the money. And I know there is that, usually you have a 24 hours to cancel it. If you don't cancel it within 24 hours, they might give you a flight credit. And it's suspicious to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna call American Airlines and ask them. And this is what they tell me. Since, even though I paid with my own debit card for this flight ticket, the traveler, this person that I'm not gonna name, I should, tell everyone who did, but I just don't want to go that far. This traveler will get the flight credit. So that means, first, we're not gonna get the money back. And second, we're not even gonna get the flight credit back. And third, the flight credit is gonna go to that person that did not pay for the ticket. Have you ever heard about anything like this? Did you know that this is a thing? Now, I never paid for a flight ticket for a driver. I never, and I'm not gonna do it. Like a bus ticket. Okay, bus ticket is not that expensive. Okay, I can, say, okay, well, if I lose it, I lose it. But pay someone almost $500 for a flight ticket and they don't even show up. I don't want to do that. To me, it's a red flag. First, this driver, and I don't want to, I know the owner of the truck, he needs someone to drive the truck. And I understand that. You're desperate. You need, the truck is just sitting there and eating your money. And I don't want to tell him, hey, this is not a good idea. Look for someone. Okay, well, you want to bring that guy from Laredo. Okay, we checked him out. You interviewed him. You like him. You guys agreed on pay. Everything is fine. I'll even, pay for that. I know you're going to give me the money. I understand that. But I don't want to go be like, hey, just don't do that, man. Like, this is very risky, because everything checked out. I just, like, because I already taught him, like, there were a couple of other drivers, and we already spoke about them. And I'm like, okay, well, these drivers, there are a lot of red flags, because one driver kept asking for money ahead. Like, the driver hasn't even left their home to come here. They're asking for money to borrow them money. Like, that's a big red flag. That's a no, don't do that, right? And I told him, and then, the owner of the truck says, okay, I'm not going to do it. I respect your opinion. And now this guy, everything is perfect. He's communicative. And this happens. And now, of course, this, driver blocked all of our numbers. He's not responding. And the airlines is going to issue him the flight credit. That's crazy. Like, and now he gets a free vacation or a flight ticket to a vacation. He can use it. He can use it wherever he wants. And I don't know, maybe I could cancel, like, go to my bank and ask them, but most likely they're gonna just, if they think this is a fraud or something, or if I tell them this is a fraudulent transaction, they're probably gonna cancel my card, and I have to go and wait for a new one and cancel everything. It's a big hassle. So yeah, the lesson here for everyone here is, like, don't pay for flight tickets to bring your drivers from anywhere. I know big companies do it, and maybe they can afford to risk it. And it's not like we cannot afford it too, right? We can afford it. It's just like, come on, man. Like, why are you doing that to someone that's genuinely trying to help you and bring you here and onboard you and give you a job, right? That's a scam. That's a fraud. Like, people should be sued for that. But, what are you going to do? They're in Texas, am I in Michigan? What else do we have here? Trump signs order providing relief from auto tariffs. So, imported automobiles given a reprieve from separate tariffs on aluminum and steel, an effort to prevent levies from stacking. Okay, whatever that means. But yeah, President Donald Trump signed an executive order easing the impact of his auto tariffs. Okay, so maybe, these are all, just a little tiny pieces that might help the economy or the trucking industry. This is nothing major. We need something major to happen in order to send the trucking industry to the boom. Like, these hot and cold showers that we are getting, this is not helping. What else do we have? Okay, so I'm reading about this Freight Guide report on a trucking company. And the brokers either don't realize that this can ruin the trucking business, the Freight Guide report, unfortunately, and the brokers don't realize, like, this is not a tool that you should be using lightly. Okay, here's what happened, and you tell me what you think about this, and I don't know what to think either. A broker reported a trucking company, they gave them a Freight Guide report because the trucking company called the shipper and asked about the rate that they gave the broker. So you're a trucking company and you book a load with a broker, and for some reason you call the shipper and you ask them. Now, I don't know if the shipper, does it mean that the shipper is usually who's paying for the freight? No, it could be the receiver, people who order the freight, or like a third-party customer, someone else. It doesn't have to be the shipper. Usually, like, this just shows how maybe ignorant that trucking company is, because usually shippers don't pay. It's usually the receivers who pay for the freight. But, either way, why would you call that shipper and ask for the rate? Ask the broker. Like if you really want to know, and if you really want to, go that road, ask the broker about the rate. You ask the shipper. The shipper is not going. First, shipper is not gonna give you that rate. Second of all, it's just bad business. It's not professional. But still, I don't think this is a reason to do a freight guard report. Freight guard report. Maybe like if someone steals the freight, something big happens, like double brokering or something like that. But for this, now I don't think this is a reason. But still, don't do it. Like that's like if you don't like brokers, don't work with them, right? If you don't think brokers are good for the business or brokers should be in the business, just But if you work with them, like most of us who are in the spot markets on the load boards, most of us work with them. Then what's the point? What's the point? Are you gonna get a better rate from the broker because you know how much they're getting paid? Yeah, you're probably not gonna get a better rate. They're just gonna block you. JVC, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if I've seen any emails. I'm gonna type in my email here, and I don't know if you use that one, if it went to spam or something, but do email me, and then I will check my spam folder and see. This is the email. I just typed it in here, and I will check my spam folder today and tomorrow just to see. And then if you can send me your full name, and I'll send it to you. And I do apologize about that one more time. Okay, what happened yesterday? So yesterday we have this this broker calling me and saying, hey, well, we're about to book you on a load with one of your dispatchers, but on carrier 411, your phone number is not correct. And I'm saying, well, the phone number that you calling me on right now, yeah, well, this phone number is on FMCSA, and this is the official company number. And they said, well, no, it's something else. It's like a previous number that I had long time ago. And this lady, I mean, and it's like, like they're very nice and all. And she's like, well, just, we'll give you the load, but you should just call for carrier 411 and ask them to fix it. And then I laughed. I'm like, go to their website, go to carrier411.com and look at the homepage. They say if you're a carrier and you call them, you dare to call them, they're going to block you. Like, they hate trucking companies, and there's nothing we can do about that. And she's like, oh, I had no idea. Yeah, you don't know who you're dealing with here. Like, people think, oh, okay, it's a freight guard report. I'm going to, this is all fair, and they're going to be able to, keep working after that or dispute it. Yeah, you have 3 days if you get an email. And even if you get an email and you're trying to comment on that freight guard and then change it, are they going to delete it? Is the broker going to delete it? Because the broker is the one that has to delete it, right? So carrier 411, they're not going to work with you on anything. And I wonder how they have that phone number still. And no one has complained about that before. But yeah, you cannot just call carrier 411 and change your phone number. They're just going to block you. That's very extreme. That's very extreme. Ulrich, calling the shipper like that is not professional at all. When you do that in my home country, it brings some problems to reputation. And I'm assuming it's same anywhere you do that. Like I said, if you agree to do a load for a certain rate, and you actually do the load, then it's not professional and it's bad business. You're gonna lose both of those customers, the shipper and the broker, and they might report you like they did. And if you're running your trucking company like that or any kind of business, you're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to do it for a long time, right? And you're going to wonder what the problem is. Like, oh man, like, I wonder what I'm doing wrong. Well, you're doing a lot of things wrong if you're like that. Okay. New scam alert. I just read about this actually today. OTR factoring, they came out with this report, and there's a video on YouTube as well about that. But to me, it's just this scam. I don't like, how can you fall for this scam? And I'll tell you what this is. I'm going to try to find it here. Okay. I had it here somewhere. I think I can even bring it to the screen because I made a screenshot. Oh, it's not a screenshot. It's, oh, here we go. I'll do this. Give me 1 second before I bring it in. You can see it. Okay. New scam alert. Owner-operator impersonation scam. Special thanks to OTR Solutions for publicizing this. Now, OTR Factoring, they're a non-factoring company. Sorry, they are they're one of the biggest factoring companies out there and most famous ones. DAT has incorporated them into their system when you check loads. So they're good. Now, I wonder why, like, I don't know. Let's read it. How this scam works. Scammer representing a reputable entity, usually a broker, refers an owner-operator to the victim carrier. Okay, that's step one. So you're working with a broker, or they call you, and they say, hey, there's this owner-operator, and they want to lease on to someone, and since we have a good relationship, I'm thinking of of recommending this guy or lady. Can they come over? And yeah, sure, the more the merrier. Like, let's bring them on. We don't care who they are. We're not gonna check them. We're not gonna check their truck or their credentials. Nothing. We're just gonna lease them on to us. And then step two, victim carrier onboards owner operator that they refer, and then broker books loads with owner operator, and then carrier factors loads for payment and pays the owner operator, and then factoring company realizes that bill of ladings and RCs are fake and recovers payment from carrier. Then carrier contacts the owner-operator to try to figure it out, but the owner-operator and the broker disappear. No loads actually move. It's a paperwork-only scam. So none of the money paid to the owner-operator is recoverable by going after a shipper. There was no cargo in the first place. Scary. Now, if this was someone publishing something like this, like just randomly on Reddit or on a social network, I'd be like, okay, this is really stupid. But OTR Solutions, and I'm guessing maybe they had someone that did this to one of their customers, and now they're publishing this and warning others. But first, like there's so much wrong with this. So step one, scammer representing a reputable entity, usually a broker, refers an owner operator to the victim carrier. Okay, I can see that happening. That could happen. Now, two, victim carrier onboards owner operator. Now, this the word victim, when describing this carrier, should be replaced with stupid, ignorant, out of touch carrier onboard owner operator. Like, how can you onboard an owner operator? Okay, maybe you have never seen them or their truck. Okay, that could happen, but there are steps, where you can prevent a non-existing owner operator with a non-existing truck to, onboard with you. Like, how can you do that? Like, what we do here, like, even if someone is, from a different state, we would send them documents that they need to fill out with their past work history, and we would check their previous employers or the trucking companies they were leased onto. Then they would do a drug test. Then we would do a clearinghouse query, and they have to be in the database, meaning that they are a driver and they have a CDL. And then they will upload, that you cannot, in our case, you cannot sign the lease agreement without valid, permits, CDL, medical card, your truck registration, truck DOT, truck insurance, trailer registration, trailer insurance, trailer DOT. You cannot even send us those documents without it. But still, even if you could, like, we cannot onboard you. You cannot start until that's validated. Okay. Then we would send you the ELD and the truck signs and the fuel card. We would create a username for you in the ELD. You would connect the ELD to the truck, and then we can see that you're connected and that you're legit, that you're legal. So we can see where you are, and you can be, legally driving and following the hours of service. Okay. There would be many phone calls in between, many emails exchanged, safety orientation, and we would get to know you. And if there's one red flag, during this process, I'm gonna just step back and check on that. If there's one red flag, once you start driving, we can see where you are, right? You're like in step 3 here, it says broker books loads with owner operator. You can't book loads on our on your behalf, or on our behalf with someone else without us knowing and approving the broker and getting set up with the broker, checking the broker. You can't do that. First. Second, I know some companies have self-dispatching. We don't do that here. We dispatch trucks. You can look for a load board, on a load board for a load, and send us load suggestions. Like if you see something, and we will call on that load and book it for you, right? So the broker giving you loads directly, that's not gonna work. Like, you don't do that if you're a carrier. So we can see where you are. We can track you. When I do the payroll, I can, like once you deliver a load, you have to upload the bill of lading. You have to send us the bill of lading, the same day. I see your fuel history, like when you're getting fuel, if you're getting fuel, all of that. Like, how can you, and this would not be worth it if this was only for 1 week, right? Someone does these fake loads for 1 week. I don't think it would be worth it for someone to go that far and do that. It would have to be several weeks in order to get a decent amount of money as a fake broker and a fake owner operator, right? I mean, if you don't realize in several weeks that someone is scamming, that they're not actually driving, and that they're not getting fuel, they're not moving, you don't get the bill of ladings, nothing, like, you shouldn't even be in this business. Like, this is not for you. That's so crazy. And then they say carrier factors loads for payment and pays the owner operator. Like, so how can you, like at the end they say there is no cargo, there is no, where was that, like RC bill of lading, hold on, where is it? Okay, factor and comma realizes that the BOLs and RCs are fake and recovers payment from carrier. Okay, so all these loads, all these weeks that you've been doing, you never realize that these bill of ladings and RCs are fake, right? You never realize that. I don't know. This is like, if you fall for this, this is, I'm not going to say this is on you because you're still a victim, but if all these red flags, you missed all of these red flags, and like, I have no words. Michael is saying, I get so many calls from people with strong Indian accents who claim to be dispatchers and they have good paying loads. I immediately hang up. Are these actually legitimate? Do you think? My pronunciation is bad today. Okay, about that. Now, when they say good paying loads, or here's another thing I wanna talk about. I see ads. Companies are actually looking for owner operators to lease onto them, and they continue using wrong terms, and terms matter, right? They keep saying, hiring owner operators. That's the first thing that, like, when I see that, I know immediately that this company does not know what they're doing, and you should not lease on to this company if you're an owner operator. You cannot hire an owner operator. They are contractors, a contractor. They are not employees. You sign a contract with them, a lease agreement, you pay them $10.99, and they are legitimate contract. This is not a shady area like, some companies will hire company drivers on a 1099 or W-2, and then there is a discussion about that, whether that's legal or not. But around this part, there is no question about that this is the right way to do it. They are 1099 contractors, and you don't hire them. If you keep using the word hire, they could argue that they are your employees, and that, with the fact that you're an employee, there come obligations for you as an employer, benefits, taxes, other things. You cannot hire. You're not hiring an owner operator. It's a contract, right? And terms matter. About these high paying loads and good paying loads, a lot of these dispatchers will say we have good paying loads or we have high paying loads. First of all, right now there are no high paying loads. High paying loads could be if you're doing something special, something out of ordinary, or you have a really good contract, or a good broker that you work with, or direct shipper, but that's rare. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's rare. And for some dispatcher that lives halfway across the world to have high paying loads, that's a big red flag. Like, they don't realize this. They're trying to advertise their business. They're trying to get customers, but saying this, like, they discredit themselves with these words, these terms, unknowingly. Maybe you don't realize it as a person on the other side of the phone line, but back in your mind, like they're saying, we have a high paying load. First, there are no high paying loads right now. Second, you don't have the loads. You're a dispatcher. You don't have loads, right? These loads are not yours. Even as a carrier, if you work with a broker, technically these are not your loads. You are a part of the process. You do transport them. You at one point of this process of the time, you are in possession of this load, but you don't possess it literally, you don't own it. It's just you have the right to transport it, and you have certain obligations with that and requirements. And then once you transport it, you're supposed to get paid. But this is not your load. You don't have the load. Now, brokers, you could argue that brokers maybe have these loads. They still don't own them, but they have, rights to transport them as well. But you as a dispatcher, you don't have loads. You're just going out and fish for them on the load boards like everyone else does. And you can't, you don't have contracts either, because no shipper is going to give you a contract or a broker. Okay? So you can't claim that. Then what you're doing is you're lying. You haven't even started this relationship and you're already lying to your potential customer, right? So you don't have high paying loads. Okay? And there are so many of these phone calls, Michael. I get them a lot as well. I used to get them more, but lately I think they would target us smaller companies right now. I'm not saying we're a big company, but we are not that small anymore. Like when we had like 5 or 10 trucks, that was different. So the dispatchers, these dispatchers from India and Pakistan and other countries, they would usually call owner operators, with 1 or 2 trucks, or companies that have like under 5 or under 10 trucks. So usually companies with more than 5 or 10 trucks, they will have in-house dispatchers. They have their own dedicated employees that will work in the trucks, and they don't need these dispatchers. Dispatchers are good for someone who is on the road, who doesn't know how to dispatch themselves or doesn't have the time. Okay. I'm reading some messages here now. So I'm getting less and less of these phone calls, but I would argue with them and I would tell them, like, this is not how you do it, right? I'm not trying to be, I'm not going to use bad words here on this on my channel. I'm not going to be that guy, but I'm just genuinely trying to help. Sometimes I mess with them a little bit too. I used to mess with them a lot. I even made some recordings, but then some people, because a lot of my audience is dispatchers, and then a lot of them are from India and Pakistan, and I do respect their hustle, and they're trying to make a living, and I respect it, as long as you're doing everything right, as long as no one is trying to scam anyone or lie to anyone. It's their right. They can try to make it in the trucking world. But then some of them didn't appreciate that. This one video where I was trying to lecture this one dispatcher, and I made a recording when they called me about some things, right? Like, I have a feeling that some of them don't even know some trucking terms and basic rules, regulations, and industry terms, and other things that have to do with trucking industry. They don't know what they're doing. So I asked them, like you have loads here, and I was like, I'm looking at my table, and I'm like, what should I use as an example? I asked them, so I'm looking at the tabletop, and I'm asking this guy or a girl, I don't remember, do you have tabletop loads? What? Well, tabletop. Yeah, we have tabletop loads. Then some of them don't know what they're even what they're doing. I used to work with Amazon. I've seen a lot of hustle and driver. I've seen a lot of scam loads. Let's see if we have anything else here on our schedule. Yeah, this is it. This is everything I wanted to talk about right now. I don't think I missed any questions. Today was a relaxed stream. I looked at some other people and some other streams, and I see the way they're doing. I'm trying to be man. Hold on 1 second. I have to answer this. Hello. Good. How are you? I do not. I might on Monday, but not Friday or Saturday. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye. I'm trying to make this interesting and keep your attention here. And I have to do this because of my neck. You know, my neck hurts. Like if I sit like this for a long period of time, my neck starts hurting. So I like sitting like this. I try to make it a little, a little bit more entertaining and interesting for you, so I can keep your attention, keep you here, and give you good content. But I look at other live streams, and I guess the general culture about live streams is that people are more relaxed. They don't rush. They don't, try to keep you there this whole time, because in a live stream, people will come and go and leave and come, and you can also rewatch it later. And you're generally allowed to make some mistakes, use filler words like I do a lot. I'm trying to work on that, but I've been trying to do it for the last 5 years. I can't get rid of them. Filler words like stuff like that. That's in my opinion, that's another filler sentence. So people are more accepting of these mistakes in a live stream, and I like it. I like it that way, and I like the fact that I can communicate with you and all the people that keep coming here, and I appreciate that you watch it. And then, like I always say, if you have questions, I will be glad to talk about them. A lot of these questions have been answered actually a few times, but there's always something else to add. So yeah, that's it. We're very busy with new owner operators and onboarding. I have at least 5 video ideas that I'm trying to work on and record those videos. I just don't have the time for that. That's the problem with me right now. But yeah, JVC, I'm looking at your messages again. Do email me, and I will send you that certificate. Hopefully this was information for you, and hopefully we can see each other next Wednesday around 11 a.m. And subscribe to the channel, come back for more, like the videos, and if you're an owner operator, we would love to have you here. If you have your own semi-truck, we have a great team right now, and our dispatchers don't work with more than 5 trucks. So you will have the full attention you deserve as an owner operator. Let's talk. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Sorry for tuning in every time, and hopefully I can see you next time. Take care.